Something that the mainstream media doesn't want you to see was just revealed on World Basketball Day. Fans from Slovenia to Singapore are rising at 3 in the morning to see the Indiana Fever, while the WNBA and the Players Union are embroiled in a conflict that has the potential to ruin everything. People flying across oceans, customs officers identifying jerseys, and entire nations unable to purchase licensed gear due to the league's inability to handle international distribution are all examples of this. This goes beyond simple growth. This is a once-in-a-generation explosion that is being handled terribly. And if you believe I'm overstating things, look at what fans shared yesterday. Allow me to give you some mind-blowing context. December 21st, 1891. At that point, basketball was created by Dr. James Naismith as a tool for Christian ministry rather than as a game. This individual was employed by the YMCA as a physical educator from Canada. And he actually invented this sport in order to use the gym to gain souls. They referred to it as muscular Christianity. The notion that competing in sports could help you develop your religion and character. Because YMCA missionaries used basketball for youth outreach and evangelism in China, Europe, and Africa, the sport spread around the world. Born from a mission to change lives is the game you are currently seeing. Keep that in the back of your mind because the current Indiana fever outbreak is the closest thing to the initial virus outbreak in more than a century. This is when things get crazy. The Indiana Fever tweeted a straightforward query on X, World Basketball Day, yesterday. From whence are you applauding? They very likely anticipated the typical reactions. Indianapolis. Perhaps some admirers from nearby states. Instead, they received a master lesson on the Caitlin Clark effect. And let me be very clear before somebody jumps into the comments and claims that this isn't about a single individual. It has been stated on record by Kelsey Mitchell. In her own podcast, Sue Bird acknowledged it. The haters are no longer able to dispute it. The Indiana Fever was a starting point for a worldwide phenomenon after Caitlin Clark attracted an unprecedented wave of fans to the WNBA. The answers started rolling in and didn't stop. Minneapolis, South Carolina, and New York. Quite typical, don't you think? After that, things became worse. Italy's Milan. To see the Fever play the Liberty, someone took a plane from Italy to New York City. Give that some thought. A regular season transatlantic flight. WNBA match. Next is Slovenia. A fan claims to see every Fever game in real time. They've never watched an entire Lakers or Dallas game, but they have their sights set on Indiana. The time zone difference alone is terrible from Slovenia, but they do it for every game.
I've flown from Italy to New York City just to see the Fever play against the Liberty. That's big time.
This is where the league ought to be ashamed. Many South American and European followers are pleading for items. They are unable to understand it. There seems to be no availability and extremely high international shipping rates. People in Greece have expressed a need for Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham jerseys, but they are unable to find them anyplace. Fans in Rwanda, Norway, and Chile are all dealing with the same issue. There is a demand. The infrastructure is nowhere to be discovered, but the money is ready to be spent. This is the pinnacle of corporate incompetence. You can't even complete orders for jerseys while having a gold mine of global interest. Allow me to illustrate the depth of this. Singapore. A fan shared that since the NBA headquarters is located in Southeast Asia, they want the Fever to bring the entire team for an exhibition game. They are getting up for 3 a.m. games without any issues. Consider that strategic opportunity. Singapore has NBA infrastructure already in place, a wealthy market that is ravenous for basketball content, and fans who are practically pleading for access. Auckland, New Zealand, in the meantime. For Christmas, someone traveled across the Pacific to bring Fever fanaticism to Papua New Guinea. This isn't just a passing interest. This is the penetration of culture. This is the kind of organic growth that marketing teams spend millions attempting to produce, and it's occurring organically thanks to a single generational talent and her team. The tale of Connecticut's Sun game is unquestionably barbaric. There were more Indiana jerseys in the crowd than Connecticut jerseys, according to a fan who attended a Fever versus Sun game in Connecticut, the Sun's home court. That's more than simply an out-of-town crowd. It's a total takeover. In their own arena, there are more visiting fans than home fans. Nothing will enlighten you about the change taking place in women's basketball if that doesn't. It's not only global, either. Hawaii's Ahu. One fan claimed that since they don't have any local professional sports teams to support, at least they have Caitlin and the Fever. That's addressing a gap that is becoming into a person's main sports identity. Illinois. Washington. A mother wrote that she was taken to see NCAA basketball by Caitlin. She joined the WNBA and now loves every member of the Fever team. The pipeline is that. From college sensation to professional team devotion. Every sports league aspires to that, and women's basketball is experiencing it in real time.
I'm from and live in Oahu in Hawaii. No professional sports teams to our name, so at least I got me CC and the Fever. Wow. Check this out. Watching the Fever from Norway. Isn't that beautiful?
The idea that women's basketball exclusively appeals to one group is totally refuted by the diversity of this fanbase. So let's discuss it. Fans from Germany, France, the UK, Canada, Nigeria, South Africa, Argentina, Chile, and other continents, cultures, and time zones are all linked by a single team. Young children wearing Fever apparel, elderly fans holding up shirts, families traveling together to away games, and even a dog sporting a Caitlin Clark number 22 shirt are all depicted in the pictures that fans are sharing. This is multi-generational, global, and expanding quickly. Friendships have been strained, but they're still keeping up their high fever, according to one fan in Chicago, deep in Sky territory. Rivalries, merchandise purchases, and sustained involvement are all fueled by that kind of love for sports. Wearing a Caitlin shirt, another fan passed through Canadian customs, and the customs officer was also a fan. That's the permeation of culture. You've gone beyond sports when border security recognizes your jersey. You've turned into a movement. This is the time to face truth. According to Sue Bird, this incident will likely be studied by colleges in the future. Students will examine how Caitlin Clark practically overnight revolutionized the WNBA. She is correct, too. This growth isn't typical. It's not a steady ascent. Everyone was taken aback by this fascinating volcanic explosion, the league included. Since we are not exaggerating, the distinction between literally and figuratively is important. Every metric, including attendance, viewing ratings, retail sales, and social media engagement, exploded in a single season. That is not the case. However, it just did. And that's why the WNBA's current predicament is so annoying. You possess this once-in-a-lifetime momentum. Fans are watching from nations where basketball isn't even among the top 3 sports, such Rwanda and Papua New Guinea. Alarms are being set for tip-offs at 3 in the morning. Thousands of dollars are being spent on overseas travel. They are pleading with you to give them cash for stuff and jerseys. And what's taking place behind the scenes? A labor conflict that has the potential to ruin everything. The Players' Union and the WNBA must comprehend the issues at hand. This goes beyond income shares and compensation. This is about making the most of an opportunity that might not present itself again. Caitlin Clark is correct when she says that this is the best time in women's basketball history. However, if the infrastructure fails, the greatest moment is meaningless. Fans in Singapore may cease setting 3 a.m. alarms if the season is postponed or cancelled due to labor disputes. It's possible that those Italian fans won't reserve another transatlantic journey. That Connecticut fan might return to cheering on their local team. Momentum is brittle. It cannot be paused and anticipate that it will continue at the same level of intensity. Everyone who registered their location yesterday, from West Des Moines, Iowa, to Athens, Greece, has an obligation to the league to resolve this.
This is further evidence of why the WNBA and the Players' Union need to get it together, because there are people who are watching now. I'm sure they're going to watch the players wherever they end up. But people are dialed in to the WNBA. This is, as Caitlin has said over and over again, the greatest moment for women's basketball. It would behoove all involved to get this thing together.
Let's return to the origins of basketball. This game was developed by Dr. James Mayeth to reach individuals, foster community, and disseminate a message beyond national boundaries. The fundamental idea is still the same, even though you probably never thought it would reach the size we see today. People are connected via basketball. It is not limited by region, language, or culture. The Indiana Fever's current situation is evidence that women's basketball possesses the same strength, attraction, and capacity to bring people together around a shared interest. Whether the league's commercial side can rise to the occasion their athletes have created is the question. A rising tide lifts all boats, as Caitlin herself would say. Though the surge of Indiana supporters hasn't harmed other teams, it has increased awareness of the league as a whole. Aaliyah Boston is receiving the credit she merits. At last, Kelsey Mitchell is being recognized as the top scorer she has always been. There is a global fan base for Lexi Hall. Every team has profited from more attention, including the Liberty, the Sun, and the Sky, but only if the league takes use of it. Only if the international shipping is fixed. Only if they plan exhibition games in Europe and Singapore. Only if they provide access and make it simpler for these followers around the world to remain involved. Consider what we just saw. A straightforward social media post inquiring about the viewer's location became a worldwide roll call. Numerous nations, hundreds of answers, supporters sharing pictures, narratives, complaints about items, and promises of allegiance in the face of all challenges. That isn't fake excitement. That is genuine, natural, and ardent fandom. Every great sports league is built on that foundation, and the WNBA is getting it for free because one woman was so exceptional that she attracted millions of spectators to the sport. What should we do next? The off-season is crucial. The problem of international shipping had to be resolved yesterday. International markets and exhibition games must be planned. Globally, streaming access must be increased. And above all, because all of the fans who posted yesterday from all around the world are waiting, the labor issue needs to be resolved. They have a stake. They are prepared to add women's basketball to their regular schedule. However, they require a compromise from the league. They require both the games to continue and the infrastructure to sustain their enthusiasm. This is the moment of legacy. At this point, women's basketball either takes advantage of a generational opportunity or lets it pass due to internal turmoil. From Slovenia to Singapore, from New York to New Zealand, admirers have shown up. They have proclaimed their allegiance, purchased the shirts, set the alarms, and reserved the flights. It's currently on the league. The owners, the players' union, and all others engaged must demonstrate that they are worthy of this opportunity, that they can manage the expansion, and that they are aware of the risks. In the past, World Basketball Day was merely a historical curiosity regarding Dr. Namath and the YMCA. This year, it served as a demonstration of the progress and potential of women's basketball. The Indiana Fever asked more than simply where the supporters were coming from. They demonstrated the extent of a worldwide movement. We're looking at the start of something genuinely historic if the league plays this correctly, gets their act together, and takes advantage of this momentum. For basketball itself, not just for women's basketball. Thus, to all those who shared from Montana to Milan yesterday, from West Mo to Athens, from Honolulu to Cape Town, this moment is also yours. You have a role in the narrative. To the WNBA, the decision-makers, and everyone involved in behind-closed-door negotiations, you are proof that women's basketball has emerged on the international scene. Examine that thread in detail. Go over each response. See how each nation is represented and realize that you have a unique experience here. Something uncommon. These admirers are literally watching from all around the world and are waiting to see what you do next, so don't waste it.